Good afternoon, and welcome to Strategic Trading Service. My name is Brian Swan, the founder of Strategic Trading Service, and today you are going to be witnessing a live trade using our patented system called Mulit Platform Insurance Trading. This will be a live trade showing the exact methodologies and systems used to produce a profit, more like a mining operation than a trade. So sit back, watch, enjoy, and then join us. Now, the first systems that we use in insurance trading is Nadex contracts. These are our assets. We will purchase these assets and then use another form of trading to insure those assets against loss. So the first thing that we will do is purchase two Nadex contracts, and we will purchase them in the butterfly trade position, which means one contract will be purchased above the current market price, and that will be a sell, saying that price will not reach that high. The other will be a buy below market price, saying that price will not reach that low. So let us begin that process. But first, let's walk through the entire steps, and then we'll come back and we'll do that. The next step in insurance trading is the mathematics of what you're going to be doing. Now, we will be purchasing Nadex contracts, as we said earlier. And in the scenario that we will be running, the live trade will be running shortly, we will be purchasing two contracts up and down. So the target price range for that is $75 of risk per contract. So this being the case, we know that we will have $150 of risk involved in this trade. Even though we'll have two sides, both sides cannot lose. Only one side can. And we will make our target range, as I said, $150. So you want to cover $150 of risk. Ensure that as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And in this case, we will be using the euro pound is usually the one that I prefer, but any currency pair will work. But we will use in this instance the euro pound, and the euro pound will be gearing for, we will go less than 2.5 pips. We will actually go in lots, we'll go 2 lots on the euro pound. All right, 2 lots on the euro pound will require $489.89 in margin, and it will produce $27.86 a pip. So if you wanted to cover $150 at $27 a pip, you would need approximately 6 pips. And that will give you the approximate range. But in this case, we will actually be going for 8 pips because there is a spread that also must be covered from the Forex insurance. So in this case, why not go for 10? So we're going to go 10 pips at this range, $27.86. That will produce a $270 range to cover $150 insurance trade, and $150 of risk. So we're looking at $150 of risk on contracts, and we're looking at over $270 worth of insurance generate. The reason for this is if this was done for a client and not for one's own contract, not for one's own account, but for a client contract, then the $150 would have to be removed from this profit of $270 and sent to the client to refund his Nadex account. And the remainder would be the profit for the insurer. If this was your account running it, you could skim it down to the exact price of $150 and take your profit from the remaining side of the insurance trade, from the remaining side of the butterfly. But you'll see what that means in just a moment. Now we'll move on to the next phase. The next phase of this will be actually funding our accounts with the right amount of funds. And here in UPay card system, we currently have $800 in funds sitting here that we will load. Now we only need $460 something worth of capital in our Forex account to produce the effect that we need. So we will transfer $500 from this account to our Pax Forex account, and that is the next thing that we shall do. Before we actually go and do that, I made a correction. We're going to skim that down just a bit. We are going to go to 1.8, and 1.8 will be our pip range, and that will be what we shoot for when we go and make our trade. 1.8, and that will produce $25.07 of risk of insurance, and we will use that to produce our range. 1.8 pips. When placing your funds into your trading account at at PaxOryx, there are many different account types that you have to choose from. I found that the mini account and the standard account both give you equal value, but the mini account allows you to customize your pip range down to the exact range that you need. So the mini account will be the account that we fund. And we will begin funding the mini account right now. And we will go. What's over here? And we will fund the mini account. Funds. We'll use our UPay card system. And we will fund it with $500. And shall deposit the funds. UPay card system, the mini account, $500. Deposit funds. And this is a great feature that they have. This ensures that you are actually sending you are the person who is authorized to send the funds. So let me go ahead and turn this off and come back once we have this transferred. And now we got that all together. Let's confirm this. And we are ready to go. Okay, so now we have $500 in our account. Now let's go ahead and start setting up the actual trade itself. All right, now we have the funds in the account and for our insurance. And let's go over and let's bring up our Nadex platform and begin the actual setup of the insurance trade. All right, and let's get this thing going here. Okay, now we have $500 here and $500 there. To set this up, really, you must have previously worked out the mathematics of how much money you will need to generate the funds necessary. The formula is distance times pip value equals contract cost. I'll repeat that. Distance times pip value equals contract cost. And let us begin. First thing that we will do, Forex, and look for the euro pound. Now, to place one of these trades in the proper manner, you will need around 14 plus hours to find the pricing that you need. You modify this system to cover any amount. Actually, you can modify the system to work on one leg. You can modify it to work at an odd angle, at an odd amount. But for our purposes, we will stick with the classic setup. And the traditional butterfly setup is $75 of risk, $25 of reward. And that is what we'll be looking for. We will set this for 7 a.m. actually in the morning. We'll give it 17 hours out. And we do not have what we're looking for there at a glance. It is easy to tell, I didn't even do that. It is easy to tell at a glance what you're looking for because you're looking for two things. You are looking for the distance and you're looking for the pricing. The pricing comes first. You must have 75-25 if you wish to stick with this, because if you change that profile, if you change that risk to reward profile, it changes your profit potential drastically. All right, so let us go ahead and go back to 7 a.m. again. Okay, now let us look at where we are. 8800 is here, and we are currently at 87.91. This is not a preferable risk profile, and we will not take that trade. Now, if we come down and look at the weeklies, we can definitely take this trade. We have 88.25, and price is at 87.92. Now, would be a very good trade to take for the week if we had more than two contracts that were running. If you have to include time value in one of these trades, you must consider the fact that if you're spending a week on a trade, it should be very well worth it. And 1-2 contracts isn't. 10 is. So now that tells us that we shall look at an entirely another currency pair. We shall come and we will look at the euro pound. Why do I use the euro? No necessary reason. The euro is no more volatile or unvolatile than the dollar. And for our purposes, it is not about the currency pair itself. It is about getting the right setup is what we're looking for. So around 17 hours again. And here we are close, but we do not have the setup that we're looking for. But we do have 3160 and 3142. And to tell you the truth, if we were to take this and go for two contracts, our risk is $137. We are going to actually take that trade. We trade, and here we go. We are set there. And back to OK. And now we'll find its counterpart, which would be here. And we're looking to take two of those. And 174 is its risk. So now we know that the most that we have to risk is $174. We have two positions, and the most that we have at risk is 174. We are 131 and 131.60 in the euro pound, and both have the expiration time of 7 a.m. And we have two contracts. But remember, the important thing to remember on this is the maximum risk is $175. Let us go on to set up the insurance now. Now, to readjust for our trade, the euro pound, we would have to readjust that to go to 2.5 lots. And that requires a margin of $636, and that will produce $23.30 of margin of pip value. So we will increase this and add to our position and to continue on. All right. Now, while we're waiting for the other 300 to hit the account that we have just funded, so we should have $800 in our Forex account and we have two contracts going each in our Nadex account. So let's go ahead and now set up the actual trade for the insurance. We have the asset part, which is Nadex, and let's go down here and set us up on FX. So first thing we want to do is we want to ensure, what we want to do is we want to check to make sure that we have the right amount here, which we do. And I'll go here, and we will say 2.5 lots at $23.30 a lot, and we'll be going 10 pips on that, and that will give us what we need. So back and Nadex, and 3100 is our bottom, and 3160 is our top. So let's go over here to 3160. First, let's find the euro pound. All right, and 3160 is our top, and 3100 is our bottom. And 3160. Right here. 3160 is what. All right, 3160 and done here. And the bottom one is 3100. And 3100. All right. What's that? 3160 and 3100 is proper setup. Okay, and done. All right. 3160 and 3100 is our setup. And now let's go ahead, and that we have this set up. Let's look closely at what we're doing here and set the actual trade up here. Now, in setting up this trade, you want to be careful to actually go for the lower one first. As you see that this is skewed slightly to the top, you have the 3140 range that is closer than the 3100 range. So it is better to set the larger one first, because you're going to have more of a distance to set that up with. And I'll show you what I mean. We're going 2.5 lots. Let's make sure that we have our, here we are. We are now set. We have $800 in here, and let us go and set this trade up. We're going to find the euro pound and open the chart. Okay, and we want 2.5 lots. Okay, and in this case, we're going to be setting the bottom one first, so it will be a sell stop, and we will set it at, we want 10 pips. So if the bottom is 3100, then 3110 to 3100 is where we're going to go. 3110 to a take profit of 31 flat. All right, and then we will place that order as a sell stop. And we'll come and next place the buy stop, which is at 3160. So this one, because price is, and I want to show you this, this is a unique setup, and this is one that I had to teach myself. Well, I taught all of this because I'm the inventor of this. This next trade, this next insurance setup will not be set up inside from 3150 to 3160, although you could. And bringing prices traveling down now, we're going to do that. But if price had been within a 5 or 10 pip range, it would actually have been better to set up the insurance trade outside of 3160, from 3160 to 3170. So you can set it inside or outside. But because it is now back down some to around 38, we'll come in and we'll set the inside trade as well. And that will be a buy stop at 3150. And we'll take ours at 3160, 10 pips, and we'll place that trade. Oh, that's wrong. So 3150. All right. And it looks like this. So now we have our two trades set up as one. Over here, in Nadex, we have two contracts up and down, and they will produce around $50 as a side, and our risk is $150, $170 actually, is the risk that we have on this. And at the bottom, we have a Forex trade that will cover that risk. So now we simply wait, pay attention, and see what happens. Now, one thing before we go any further, if you notice something, do you notice that there are no stops placed with this trade? There are stops placed with this trade, but there are mental stops. And this is where the discipline comes in. You must be managing this trade at all times, because the risk factor is that price can come back and hit you and go away and knock you out. And that is unacceptable risk. So you can go ahead and you can place a stop order, but the likelihood is that you will get tapped out or something like that. But because you're managing the trade, you want to go ahead and stick with it and pay attention. But in this case, just because it is a video and if something can go wrong, it will go wrong, we're going to place a stop order here and here. And I'll come back after we've done that, and we will continue on later on and see how the night progresses.